I'm Dan Wingett from Gulf Savannah NRM. We're out here today on Burlington Station where we've been collaborating with the owners and managers to develop a project to restore ecosystem health to their riparian areas and to improve ground cover and grazing management.
I'm Jack Stewart Moore. My wife Kylie and I purchased Burlington Station at Mount Surprise about 2 years ago. We came up with a bit of a plan of what we thought we would want to do overall. We contacted Gulf Savannah to see what they were able to do and what their thoughts on the whole thing were, because a lot of what we wanted to do was in line with natural resource management of trying to reduce sediment runoff, increase ground cover. Really what we wanted to do was increase the general health of the soil and the ecosystem in general.
We've identified that there's rubbervine encroaching on all the sensitive riparian areas and putting pressure on all the riverbanks.
A big part of the issue that we could see up there was the encroachment of noxious weeds. The more we looked at the more we found there, we had rubbervine, some shiny apple. The rubbervine was very gettable at the moment. It is very gettable. We believe in a couple of years it's going to be a pretty major drama there. We are in a lot of headwaters of creek systems and river systems there, so it's our responsibility to do something about it. And if we don't do something about it soon, it's only going to add to the major problem that's downstream.
We've started trying to control the rubbervine because it's getting pretty thick there in places, and where it gets really bad you notice nothing really grows underneath it. It's pretty hard to stop when it really gets going. So if we can control it now, it'll be better for the future. Hopefully get a lot more feedback under it. We
got in and started killing quite a bit and have had really good results. We got in and killed it during the growing season this year, and the results are really promising.
Over the course of the project, we have identified successes along the riparian areas. By the removal of the rubbervine through chemical application, we're now seeing the native grasses start to restore themselves and build that ground cover back where they were shadowed before by the rubbervine.
All underneath these trees here, there's nothing really underneath and just dirt patches, and now you've actually got grass starting to come back to it. If you can get our grass growing back, and the cattle will eventually come through and keep grazing it, have control how much they do eat, so you can leave your grass at a good stage, you keep taking over, and eventually they should wipe out the rubbervine naturally without having to use chemicals and that to do it. It's so shaded, nothing grows underneath it, so when you start wiping it out like here, grasses are starting to come back under the plants. Once you get a good grass ground cover, hopefully that'll stop any baby rubbervine coming up because the grass will be back there taking its place.
We've also identified that the cattle here at the moment are actually putting a lot of pressure on these riparian areas. As we've developed the project, the main aim was to improve grazing practices. We've achieved this by splitting up the paddocks into smaller paddocks and adding additional water points. This will enable them to be able to manage their grazing pressure away from the riparian areas and take pressure off the creeks, and just to leave a little bit more ground cover coming into the wet season.
Splitting the paddocks up has had a very positive outcome. Even in the first year, it was a lighter rain season this year than we had our first season, but we believe we've got better ground cover and better grass, and running about the same number of cattle, but the cattle are doing better and the land's doing a lot better, and we're actually seeing a lot more native grasses poke their head up, which is exciting.
Yeah, well, this is one of the fence lines that we've put in here just to split a paddock up to have a little bit more control over the cattle's movement. Makes it a lot better and a lot better growing, and like with this paddock, there's spear grass starting to come back pretty good through it. These paddocks were pretty bare when I first came here, when we first took over this place, and this being the better country to get probably hammered a lot more, but now it seems to be responding a lot better, and especially the seed that's on the grass, it should go good. Next wet, it should just keep getting better and better and better, hopefully, and yeah, it'll make a big difference.
You're already seeing a bit of an improvement after this first wet season?
Yeah, and especially having those new fences in and controlling the cattle so they're not just hammering the one area and wiping grass out and mowing it flat. We actually we've got a lot more baby spear grass and that coming back now, and like over here, this used to be completely mowed and now it's spear grass coming back pretty good.
Yeah, and seeing that spear, that's like more of a desirable perennial sort of grass is
coming
back. It's really going to sort of hold that soil structure together for you.
Yeah.
Working in collaboration with Gulf Savannah over the last 6 months has been really good. We're already seeing really good improvements. The soil structure and the ground cover and the whole ecosystem of our native grasslands is really improving, and we look forward to continuing that relationship to build a sustainable ecosystem and business going forward for the next generation.